deeper than an ice pick. On you rappers' necks and it's feeling like some vice grips. Yeah, that's light shit. Send my bro a kite quick. Times of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see. Most of them scared to witness. Go and close your eyes. There's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll probably grip like some dentures. Brothers on them fences. 23 and 1 out. Praying that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury, I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Gun on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the score in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the sport in my whole life. My whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, it got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Dasani, my wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. Got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home with change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on the face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. That's why I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that guy flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Taha Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Light is in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed y'all can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. It can't, the streets need another anthem. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the score in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the sport in my whole life. My whole life.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my people. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, save facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom, we bustin' it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
Do you see just how it feels? Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge dish served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. That was designed fire for our babies to pass through. In the damn by King's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Do you see just how it feels? Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Back roll.
This shit gon' ride. Living in the You'll never see another nigga like this. Used to have that white bitch popping on the night shift. Now I'm one westward, sharper than an ice pick. On you rappers' necks and it's feeling like some vice grips. Yeah, that's light shit. Send my bro a kite quick. Ties of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see. Most of them scared to witness. Go and close your eyes. There's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll probably grip like some dentures. Brothers on them fences. 23 and 1 out. Praying that that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury, I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Going on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the swerve in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the swerve in my whole life. My whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, it got me on the level supersonic. My bomb atomic, and you know where you can find me. Somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Dasani, my wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper. her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. So I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that God flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Taha Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Light is in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed y'all can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. It can't, the streets need another anthem. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know like.
This video taken by the ISUPK is posted on the school's website and on YouTube. He says he and members of his Christian Bible school are well within their First Amendment rights. But shop owners say they've heard enough. Today in court, their lawyers argued the group is trespassing. In addition, they say the group's repentant.
Niggas want me dead. Crackers too, but these coon ass niggas, they for the feds. My stick full of lead. In case these whole niggas try me, man, I'ma have to make that bed. No need to even flex. Cause how I walk it, how I talk it, let you know my speech direct. You heard what I said. Another move, your life passing through your mind, now you're big. And I'm fresh like a motherfucker. Niggas hating cause they more want us. I'm just coolin' by myself, but now they all on me. Shut up, bitch, eat a dick, I don't wanna love you. Sippin' that pool, wow, got you laced up out your shoe now. Look what you finna do, wow, it's hot. Hop around these niggas till you flop. I'm busy getting mine, but all these niggas wanna duck. But it's cool, let me know I'm on the top. Steady in the courtroom, always fighting cops. Call the white man the devil, and that's off the top. So they try to stop my movement with a block, but I beat the case every damn time, so they watch. Waiting on a nigga to try to make me slip up. Walking up on me like homeboy, what's in your cup? Do you have any drugs? Well, let me see the slugs. Make it your bitch ass back, get mad, you ain't getting love. Your wife made you clip it damn nuts, yeah I know. Crazy what coon people will do for these hoes. But I ain't even pressed, I see why you going on. My nigga, you dead wrong, bust a nut, boy, get it on.
Black and white land, shit is crazy.
Preach about how they hate white people.
I'm freshen up, cleaner than the motherfucker. Good juice in my cup is redder than the blood sucker. Drip on leak, yeah, drip on me. Hey, talking about, but what the fuck do you mean? Yeah, you see these damn bitches, they be choosing on me. But I don't want the bitch, but that bitch drooling on me. I get to walking on the girl, she wanna moving with me. But I won't have it cause she easy like spaghetti, homie. Unleash it to the G. Who is he, that nigga from SC? Get your level straight before you approach a G. Cyan TC0013. Sits on the stick, it got me cruising off the scene. The fuck do you mean? Yeah, nigga, yeah. They nigga be hating, but they can't penetrate us. Tryna shoot at us now later, but I'ma get you now. Potato on the bow, blank, blow.
But even 30 years later, videos don't necessarily lead to convictions of officers. Advocates for reform say that needs to change.
One Westworld.
Right.
Everything is lawful. Westworld.
The pressure on. I remember bringing nothing home. Make it little just to make it known. Steady, ready, better watch your tone. When I was 5'7", I was breaking bone. 5'7", now I want the chrome. 9/11, I was in my zone. Lose the argument or lose your dome. Keep cool, ain't no running up. Damn, now I'm coming up. They coming to kiss me, you dumb or what? You drawing, you done enough. They told me don't rush it, just wait my time. Paying attention, I see the signs. Coming right to me like Amazon. No time for distractions, I'm on the grind. Little shorty, your ticket, she know she fine. Got a couple of so never mind. They throwing the shade cause they know I shine. Reason I'm going in overtime. You stuck in your ways, you keep fantasizing. I just go get it, don't think about it. Don't make it an issue, it ain't a problem. Not too much talking, just organizing. One Westworld, no way around it. Heavy, so you know I'm grounded. Too sturdy, I'm well rounded. Tunnel vision, I don't see a challenge. Get admitted, I'm killing it. Case closed, I don't need a gavel. Know you hate it, don't even matter. New page, still the same time.
But just never forget that I do not. Always have that fresh in your mind. That I feel absolutely nothing
you stronger.
I live in a world where we coincide. If you're not ready to stay inside, you drowning away, you gonna ride. You stick to the end, you get glorified.
Seeing if you're gonna step up into what's world, you're gonna run
Stick to the end, you get glorified. Let's make it official, I'm one of them. One of the greatest is no exempt. It took me a minute to figure it out. I was struggling, and it made a man. I shuffled the deck and I played my hand. Just give me a reason to put them on you. Didn't believe that I had me a vision. Should I believe that you niggas loyal? We giving up game, they fumbling plays. I'm tired of talking, I'm racked out. Before that we started, they tapped out. I jumped in my duffel and blacked out. What you witnessing is elevation. Glory road to my destination. The haters, it's a celebration. And I put that on my reputation. When the fall, this a demonstration. Get sick and I know they hate it. One Westworld every season. Hot boy, this dedication. I'm giving game, I don't need favors. Go against us, you won't see the danger. You ain't family, you a damn stranger. I'll beat your ass, I don't need a baby. I don't got time for excuses. I'm plotting on making a killer. I'm getting the feeling, they know that I'm coming, I'm running. Let's get to the business. I'm still playing my post. Taking the rim like diesel. Don't run with too many people. Facts. I don't feel none of us equal. None of us equal.
And there are some brothers and sisters that know that so much, they would never leave. They would never abandon you. Since you have to stay alive here, they'll stay alive with you.
I live in a world where we coincide. If you're not ready to stay inside, you drowning away, you gonna ride. You stick to the end, you get glorified. What's world? You stick to the end, you get glorified.
They're one West. 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 They're one West.
Hey, Shalom, this is the Wednesday night history class. Also, remember, check out Commanding Junior Johanna's radio show, 2 a.m. UK time. We have classes here Monday through Friday. We have them live in the physical school, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. till 9. We have them online Tuesday and Friday, 7 p.m. till 9. We also have On the Ends Friday, 9 p.m. We also have Sabbath service on Saturday. We also have real-time revelations on Sunday. So 7 days a week, you're getting stuff out of the UK, man. The UK's got live channels running 7 days a week, man. So get the details, get the school phone number, all of those kind of things. But I got Trooper Banyamia with me today. We're gonna jump right in. So this right here is a man called Arthur Hodge. Listen, man, Arthur Hodge is the first slave master in the Caribbean that got put on trial for brutalizing slaves. That's how bad he was, man. They put him on trial because he brutalized them. He brutalized them slaves so bad that they had to put him on trial, man. That's how disgusting it was. So lucky, go ahead, Benjamin.
Kind of no one concern. Personally, appearing George's.
So now this right here is the trial. So this is gonna let you know, obviously, the trial and the information that came out in the trial and so forth. Yes, lucky, go ahead.
Of the said island of Tortola.
So that's where he was. That's where he had his plantation in a place called Tortola, which is like the British Virgin Islands, one of those places. Go ahead.
A free woman of color who being duty.
This is a free woman of color. So now this is the first time they allowed black witnesses to testify in a trial. And the only reason this was brought to light is because it was around the time when the abolitionists, whatever you call them, abolitionists wanted to abolish slavery. So around that time, they wanted to abolish it. So also this man here, also other white planters said, yo, on that man's plantation, they called it the death farm. So they called it the death farm, and there was like on that man's plantation, the torture that goes down on that man's plantation. Even other white planters testified against him, and it was like, oh, he's doing too much on there. Go ahead.
Who being duly cautioned to speak the truth, and who having declared she fully understood the nature of an oath, and
so
Berg,
they made sure she understood the nature of an oath. Go ahead.
And Berg, sensible of the pains and penalties inflicted for perjury, made oath upon the holy evangelistics of Almighty God, and disposeth as follows: that from about 5 years ago until about a week after the death of the late Mrs. Ann Hodge.
So now this was this man's wife. This was Arthur Hodge's wife. Go ahead.
The last wife of the Hun, Arthur Hodge of the said island of Tortola. She resided off and on, but generally on the estate called Bellevue, belonging to the said Hodge. That during the said period of time, the said Arthur Hodge was guilty of repeated and excessive acts of cruelty towards his slaves on said estate.
So now this is Old English, so they use Old English terms. So they said this man used to abuse his slaves. They said the slaves that was there, he was guilty of abusing them. He would torture them. Go ahead.
Amongst which, falling under her immediate view, she notices the following, viz. That a slave called Tom Boiler, between there and 4 years ago, was by order of the said Hodge laid down and cart whipped without intermission for at least an hour.
So he would whip his slaves for an hour. So apparently this man whipped slaves so bad that some of them died from the whipping. Like they would be tied up, they would go into shock and die from the whipping. And he whipped them for an hour with no intermission, meaning no stopping. So he didn't use a regular whip. He used a cart whip. So they're saying this is like a heavy duty whip where all the power goes into the point at the end. So once it hits your skin, it rips up your skin. And this man would whip them for an hour. Over 200 whips they would get, whippings they would get. And it was for minor things. And a lot of them would die and wouldn't survive. Go ahead.
And that the said Arthur Hodge stood by and saw it done.
So Arthur Hodge would stand by and see it done. So obviously he ain't gonna whip a slave for an hour. What he would do, he would get one of the slaves to do it. So he would tell a slave, yo, whip this man, and the slave has to do it or he's gonna get himself whipped. So he's thinking, I don't want to get whipped, so he would rather you get whipped. So go ahead.
And that she, this deponent, also was present. That when the said Negro slave, Tom Boiler, after the infliction of said punishment, attempted to rise, he could not stand.
So this is one of the witnesses that said he was beaten so bad that when he attempted to stand up, he couldn't stand up. Go ahead.
But was taken up and carried to the sick house.
So now in slavery, at the sick house, wherever you was sick, they'll just carry you there. But in those sick houses, sometimes you'd end up more sick because there wasn't sanitized and your open wounds would get infected, and a lot of them caught sepsis. Now back then they didn't know what sepsis was. They just know the person died. But now with research, then obviously certain bacteria gets in the wounds and so forth. So you're just thinking, yeah, whipping they're gonna be fine. No, that rips your skin open, man. That leaves you with open wounds. And then with them open wounds, you get sores and all sorts of stuff goes in the wounds. So this is why a ton of them died from the whipping. Go ahead.
From where he never came out, but died in a
so this Tom Boiler got whipped so much that he died. And imagine that. You're getting whipped for a whole hour. Your body goes into shock. This whip goes through your skin. Imagine getting whipped on the same spot over and over again. It tears your skin up, man. And if you don't die from the whipping and the shock, then you're just gonna die from some type of infection later. Because these like ain't knowing how to treat wounds and whatnot. Go ahead.
From where he never came out, but died in about a week after the said cart whipping.
And he died about a week after the cart whipping. Go ahead.
And as this deponent believes, in consequence thereof, that immediately before said cart whipping, said slave was stout, hale, and hearty.
Before the whipping, this slave was strong and stout and okay and alive and healthy. Before the whipping, go ahead.
And capable of doing his work. And that to her knowledge, no doctor was called into said slave.
She's saying this slave was so strong that while he was capable of doing his work, no doctors came into him. She's letting the judge know this man wasn't sick. But once he got that whipping that killed him, go ahead.
And further this Dopan said that soon after the death of the said Tom Boiler, another slave belonging to the said Hodge was by his order and in his presence and in the presence of her, this deponent, laid down and for more than 1 hour was cart whipped without stopping or
This man was put down on the floor and he was cart whipped, man. So cart whip means they gave him a good whipping, man. Cart whip is like stronger than a regular whip. Cart whip is what you use for like heavy oxen. So go ahead.
That the name of the said last mentioned slave was Prosper.
So now there's a slave called Prosper. So now this is why it went to court because he killed this slave. But then there was tons of other slaves that he killed, but it didn't make it to court. But then they took him to court for charging him for this one slave called Prosper. Yeah, go ahead.
That after said cart whipping, he was taken up by order of said Hodge, with his hands tied behind his back, lashed to a tree, and said Hodge then ordered the driver to use close quarters, meaning thereby, according to his usual expression.
So now they use the different type of whip. This whip is a shorter one. So apparently the shorter it is, it hurts even more. The other ones were further distance. He's the shorter whip. Started whipping him with this one.
Meaning thereby, according to his usual expressions, which he understood to shorten the whip. That in this situation, the said Prosper, in presence of said Hodge, was beaten until he fainted.
Now they beat this man until he fainted. So imagine you getting whipped so much he fainted. They whipped him until he fainted. Go ahead.
His head hanging down backwards and no longer able to bawl.
So they beat him that much and there's one of them, they beat him that much that he lost his voice. Like got beat so much he couldn't talk, couldn't cry, couldn't do anything. Just was incapacitated, couldn't do nothing because of the beatings. Go ahead.
When this deponent, no longer able to bear such a sight, left the window where she...
One of the witnesses speaking, and she was like, the beating was so bad she couldn't watch it. She had to look away. She had to walk away. She didn't want to see it. Go ahead.
Left the window where she had been standing. That this cruelty took place at the works, that the said Prosper was carried to the sick house on the hill.
So he was carried to the sick house on the hill, just like the last man was. Go ahead.
Where within a fortnight he died.
Another slave that got whipped to death, man. Imagine that. Now we think of people just getting whipped and yeah, that's it. Now these like get whipped to death, and then there was some of them that were so weak they couldn't walk after the whipping. The oppressor would whip them for not being able to walk, man. So a ton of them died that way. Go ahead.
As this deponent believes, in consequence of said cruelty, and further, this deponent say that about 3 years ago, to the best of her remembrance, a young slave named Coffee was by order of said Hodge, in the presence of this deponent, laid down and constantly cart whipped for more than 1 hour without stopping.
And now this is somebody else that was whipped for an hour without stopping. This is somebody else that was whipped for an hour without stopping. So go ahead.
Receiving at least, to her belief, 200 lashes.
And imagine whipping someone 200 times, man. That's no joke. So go ahead.
That he was cut to pieces and had no back skin upon him remaining from his whips to his...
So it said he had no black skin upon him, meaning what? Right. Your black skin is what? Your layer of skin. So they beat this man so much that if you've ever seen anyone that's been whipped, what you're seeing is flesh. It's all pink and the top layer of skin's gone and flesh. So this man was beaten so bad that he had no skin left. No, all you could see was flesh. Like your flesh underneath looks all pink and raw and whatnot. All the scene is all the rawness. Because this man had no skin on his back left because they whipped him that bad. So go ahead.
and had no black skin upon him remaining from his hips to his hands.
See? He had no black skin on him remaining from his hips to his hands. Meaning they whipped this and they whipped him, go ahead.
That this cruelty was inflicted at the works, that he was carried from thence to the sick house on the hill, where he died within a week.
So this man was carried to the sick house, and now he was dead within a week also. So right here, this is a sister giving, she's letting the judge know what she saw and what happened. Because now they're in the courtroom, they're giving evidence against the slave master. Go ahead.
That to her knowledge, no doctor was called to him, and that he was in health doing his work and strong before the flogging.
Now this is another brother that was doing his work and was strong before the flogging. This is another brother that was super strong before the flogging. And now the flogging did what? Made them weak. Because obviously they was beat so much that they're losing a lot of blood. The body's going into shock. They can barely stand and all of those kind of things. And a lot of them died from it, man. Go ahead.
That this deponent hath known the said Hodge to order at different times kettles of boiling water.
This man, this slave master would also put people in the cauldron, man. A cauldron is like a big iron pot where you put fire underneath it and you boil water. So this man would use that and he would take water from the cauldron and pour it over you if you disrespected him. Or he would just put you in the cauldron, or he would dip you in the cauldron. And they said that it would dip you in there, and by the time you come out, your skin's already off. And a lot of them died that way. They said that when it came to branding slaves, slave masters would put the iron on your brand. They said this one would put 3 irons on you and keep them on you, just keep burning you, because he liked it. This man needed to die, man. I'm telling you, a devil's a devil. But imagine this. The other devils was even like, yo, no, the other devils was like, yo, we understand punishing the slaves, but yo, this man, what this man's doing is beyond that. Like this man was going beyond that. So imagine imagine a devil without a conscience is looking at another devil like, yo, you're evil, man. All the other plantation owners was whispering. Listen, it's so bad when white people come out and defend black people. You know that white man has to be evil, man. The other white slave masters who agree it's okay to beat slaves, they even testified against this man. Like, yo, we could hear the screams from our plantation. All the other planters used to whisper like, yo, I feel sorry for them slaves on there. Imagine this, they've got slaves on theirs, but they're saying, yo, imagine being a slave. Being a slave on theirs, you would have felt like you're in heaven compared to what those people had going on the Hodge's plantation. Well, it's lucky, go ahead.
Kettles of boiling water prepared for the purpose of pouring said water down the throats of his negroes.
He would boil the water and he would pour water down hot water down their throats. So when if you pour hot water down someone's throat, that eventually kills them. You know why? Because your windpipe swells up, man. You got boiling hot water. Imagine this: someone pouring boiling hot water down your throat. So this was one of his favorite punishments, also to pour boiling hot water down your throat. So now imagine when someone pours water down your throat and you ain't trying to drink, you inhale at the same time. So now this hot water goes into their lungs. This hot water also gives them internal bleeding because you're not meant to have something so hot go down into your system like that. So apparently your organs could rupture or whatever, or you get infections and internal bleeding, and then you end up dying from that. So a ton of them died from this because imagine, listen, when you have a sip of a hot cup of tea, how your tongue burns for like a week. Imagine a man pouring a whole leap of water down your throat, man. Imagine a man pouring a kettle of hot water down your throat, and there's nothing you can do.
The kettle's no joke, when you sit there by the kettle, you see shit shaking.
Yeah,
that's no joke, man.
Trust me, that when it comes to that rolling boil, is no joke. And he would do this, and he would pour it down their throats, man. And a ton of them would die from what? Their throat swelling. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up. I don't know, I'm going to type these weird things in my laptop.
What will happen if you drink hot water?
Alright, let me show you what happens if you drink boiling water. Listen, this is you drinking it. There's a man that's forcing it down your throat, man. This says drinking boiling water can cause severe burns to the mouth, throat, and esophagus, leading to pain, swelling, blistering, and potentially life-threatening complications. Immediate effects: boiling water reaches temperatures around 100 degrees Celsius, which can instantly damage the delicate tissues of the mouth, tongue, and throat, causing excruciating pain and blistering. If swallowed, it can burn the esophagus, potentially leading to esophageal strictures, difficulty swallowing, and chronic pain. Nausea and vomiting are common as the body reacts to the thermal injury. Serious complications: severe burns from drinking boiling water can trigger hypovolemic shock, characterized by a rapid weak pulse and dangerously low blood pressure, which may compromise organ function and in extreme cases lead to organ failure. The heat can also disrupt the body's electrolyte balance, particularly sodium and potassium, further endangering health. Internal bleeding and scarring of the digestive tract and possible in severe cases. It says if someone accidentally drinks boiling water, it's crucial to seek immediate medical attention. And imagine this devil didn't give you no medical attention, man. You burnt out your throat with the hot water, gave you none of the medical attention that these are talking about. It says if someone accidentally drinks boiling water, it's crucial to seek immediate medical attention. While waiting for help, rinsing the mouth with cold water or sucking on ice cubes can help reduce pain and swelling. Vomiting should not be induced as it can worsen esophageal injury. Boiling water is safe to drink once cooled. Listen, man, what this man done is disgusting, man. What this man done is highly disgusting. Bear with me, let me remove this one from the screen. Yeah, so like read that bottom part again.
That this deponent hath known the said Hodge to order at different times kettles of boiling water, prepared for the purpose of pouring the said water down the throats of his negroes who had offended him.
This man poured the water down the throats of niggas that had offended him, man. Imagine that, like, who would think of a punishment like that? To pour hot water down someone's throat. And this what this devil did. He didn't care about money because he's killing, quote unquote, his stock, man. He's killing his stock and his property. But that's lucky, go ahead.
That Margaret, the cook, and Elsie, a washer, were served so that said Hodge said they were going to poison Mrs. Hodge and the children.
Now this man whipped them because he was like, oh, he heard a rumor that they was going to poison his wife. So he's pouring hot water down their throat. Go ahead.
And he would put an end to them. That this deponent did not see the boiling water poured down their throats, because she had not the heart to be present.
See,
but her,
she didn't want to see it, man. She had not the heart to be present. She didn't want to see that, man, because that's a horrible thing to see. Go ahead.
But heard the screams of Margaret and saw both.
Imagine that. She heard the screams of them, man. Poured this hot water down their throat. She ain't seeing it, but she's hearing the screams on that plantation of the torture and the trauma of what they're going through, man. She heard the scream, and he done this in front of so much witnesses because he wanted everyone on his plantation to fear him. So that's why he did it, man. Like, who would think to be so evil? Only a Caucasian would think to do something like that. So, okay, go ahead.
And saw both Margaret and Elsie running afterwards with scald mouths.
See? And now she saw them running afterwards with burnt mouths, man. She saw their mouths was all burnt. Imagine being burnt with boiling water, your skin's gonna come off. She saw them running with their mouths all burnt, skin all coming off their mouth. That's what she saw with her own eyes. So she's in court testifying that this is what she saw and this is what happened. Go ahead.
That they lived sometime after in a miserable condition, always complaining of their stomachs until their deaths. that they never got better but died.
And they died from that. And they lived for a little while and they was always complaining about their stomachs. And what we just read is that can affect your stomach. And that affected their stomach, man. And they lived a little while and then they died, probably from infection and everything else that comes with it. Or because what? This devil wants to kill black people. Or because he wants to harm black people. He's pouring hot kettle water down their throats. Lucky boy.
Got an on cancer. Slovakia, that they live sometime in a miserable condition, always complaining of their stomachs until their deaths. That they never got better but died.
And they never got better and they died.
That Margaret, Slovakia, that the day Margaret died, this deponent went into the kitchen where Margaret was and observing she was stupid, told her she was so and asked what was the matter.
And now the day Margaret died, she went into the kitchen where Margaret was and observing she was stupid, told her she was and asked what was the matter. So she's asking what's wrong. Lucky, go ahead.
That Margaret then pulled an handkerchief off her head.
So now this is the day Margaret died. So this lady's gone in the kitchen and she's asked, she knows something's happened. And she's like to Margaret, what's wrong? Go ahead.
And showed the opponent 2 very severe wounds in her head.
So this lady must was bust their head, man. This lady must was busting people's head. And she had a handkerchief covering the wounds in her head. So now she's unveiled these wounds to the woman that's asked her, what's wrong? Go ahead.
Which she told the opponent said Hodge had given her.
See, and this Arthur Hodge had bust the woman's head open, man. Beat them in their head with something and just bust their head open. And she's got 2 wounds, one at the front, one at the back. Imagine like these oppressors and slaves was beating up the women too, man. Not just the men. They're attacking the men, they're attacking the women, they're beating up the men and the women, they're busting their head, they're pouring hot water down their throats, they're whipping them until they die. This man here is brutal, man. It's lucky, go ahead.
One of the wounds was in the forepart and the other in the hind part of her head.
So the hind is like behind. So now what? She had a wound in the front of her head and she had a wound in the back of her head because now Hodge bust her head. He hit her over the head with something, man. So much that her head is bust open and she's got 2 wounds. Go ahead.
That in the former she could have laid her 3 fingers.
See? And that in one of the wounds, her head was bust open so much that she could put 3 fingers in the wound. That's how much he busted her head, man. He busted her head that much that she could put 3 fingers in the wound. So lucky, go ahead.
Upon which the opponent desired said Margaret to leave off her work, and the opponent would do it, and advised her to eat some rice which the opponent offered her. That said Margaret.
So lucky, go ahead, Benjamin.
Upon which the opponent desired said Margaret to leave off work, and the opponent would do it, and advise her.
So now this sister said to Margaret, like she's seen her head bust open, meaning this slave master bust her head open, and in slavery, I don't think you understand, like, no matter how injured you was, you still was expected to carry out your tasks. A lot of these things happened if you was working too slow. A lot of these things happened if you know, they want you to pick this much, cut down this much sugar cane and you do 1 shot. Then they'll boil the kettle and they'll pour that down your throat. Or they'll bust your head, or they'll whip you to death. That's the things that they was doing. Let's go ahead.
And advised her to eat some rice, of which the opponent offered her.
So now this lady said to Margaret, yo, Margaret, you go and rest, and I'll do the work for you. Go ahead. Which is sisterhood, man.
and advised her to eat some rice, which the opponent offered her. That said, Margaret was unable to do so, but soon after fell on her face. She was carried into the sick house and died that evening.
So now she's fell on her face, and she's also carried into the sick house. So if you know anything about the sick house, to just leave you there, thinking you're gonna get better, have a rogue doctor assess you, and nothing really comes from it. A lot of them died in that sick house. Why? Because a lot of them that was in that sick house was infected and got certain infections because their medical care was below zero and whatnot. Go ahead.
And died that evening. And sometimes,
now she died that evening. Why did she die? Because the slave master bust her head open, and she didn't get the medical care. Man, who knows? She could have had a brain injury. Back then, obviously, they didn't really know about medical science. Because this is like what, the early 1800s. So she could have had a brain injury. Her head was open. She could put 3 fingers in the wound of where her head was open. So of course she's gonna die if it's not stitched up in medical care. And these like check for a brain injury and whatnot. Yeah, go ahead.
That's it on that slide, sir.
That's what I see. Go ahead.
Before the death of Margaret, that this deponent in passing the sick house saw a child about 10 years of age named Samson.
So now the same woman that's giving evidence about the slave master, she saw a child, young black child about 10 years old. Go ahead.
Named Samson, with the skin all off.
And now this child had his skin all off, meaning this child was burnt. And how did this child get burnt? Why? The slave master put him in a cauldron, man, put him in a hot pot of water. He put him in a pot of boiling water. That's how they was treating the children, man. This man was treating the children like that, put them in a pot of boiling water, man. Back then they called it a cauldron. Just imagine an iron pot. Even if you touch the pot with your hands, it's hot. So imagine being in a cauldron. Hold on, let me pull you a picture of cauldron. Hold on, let me type in hot cauldron. All right, this is what one would look like. So this would be a hot cauldron, and they make soup in these things, and they got that water from there and put that 10-year-old boy in there. So much that all his skin was missing. That's how bad it was, man. They put him in a cauldron like this, in a hot one, man, which is above fire, and the water gets to about 100 degrees Celsius, which is about 200 and something Fahrenheit. That's how hot it gets. I think it gets hotter than that. So they put him in one of those, and all his skin was off for that reason. So lucky, I'm gonna go back to. So lucky, go ahead.
That she inquired of the sick nurse what was the matter with the said child.
And so now this lady, she saw this child burn, and she inquired like, "Yo, what's wrong with him? Why is his skin like that?" Go ahead.
In the name of God, that the sick nurse shook her head, Salakia shook her hand at her and told her to go away. That she did not wish her master to know the child had been seen.
So now the nurse is like, "Yo, go away, man," because the nurse don't want the master to know that she's seen to the child's injuries and whatnot. So So she's saying, shush man, go away. Why? Because the slave master, he didn't care how injured you was, half the time he didn't want you to see the nurse. If he didn't instruct the nurse to see her, then if the nurse was caught seeing her, the nurse and whoever the nurse is seeing would get punished. So she's telling her like, yo, go away, man. Go ahead.
That this deponent made inquiry concerning the said child and learned by general report on the estate from the Negroes that the said child had been, by order of said Hodge, dipped into a copper of boiling liquor.
So now she found out how he got burnt. They put him into a pot of boiling liquid, man. Water. It says liquor, but that's water what they used to put in there. So they basically boiled this little boy, man. That's how he got those disgusting injuries. He got those disgusting injuries because they put him in a cauldron, man. So lucky, hold on 1 second, Banyamin.
Yeah, don't have messed up, no. Bad news is to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Go on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby. Run that shit up, Trey.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me a whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about it anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Hopper Free. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I'm making hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that business like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me a whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or.
Alright, so lucky, I'll just quickly go do something. We're back now. So now, that's how that little boy got them injuries. Because now they put him in a hot pot. So they put him in a cauldron, which is basically a thing where it's like iron, copper, and you boil things in it. So now they put him in there. So lucky, read this slide one more time, Benjamin.
Got it on concern. That she did not wish her master to know the child had been seen, that this deponent made inquiry concerning said child and learned by general report on the estate from the Negroes that said child had been, by order of said Hodge, dipped into a copper of boiling liquor.
So now they put him in a pot of boiling water, liquid, man. So that's how he got them burns. Imagine seeing a little 10-year-old boy and he's got no skin on him. And this lady's like, yo, why is this little boy got no skin on him? She's asked the nurse. The nurse ain't answered. But then she's found out from word on the estate. And the reason he had no skin on him is because they put him in a hot cauldron. Burnt him alive. Put him in a hot cauldron, and now this little boy is running around with no skin on him because the oppressor doesn't know kindness and justice, and he doesn't know how to be fair, and he don't know how to not torture people. Like they've always tortured people that way. I'm sure in the book of Maccabees, they put the sister's sons in hot oil or so. I can't remember what it was. They've always been doing them kind of punishments. They've always been doing those kind of things. Go ahead.
If I may, I'm just on that same scripture in Maccabees, 2 Maccabees chapter 7.
Yeah, go ahead. You can read it.
Cut on concern. It says, I start at 4. It says, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the...
They wanted to cut out the tongue of one of these sons. And this oppressor near enough did the same thing when he's pouring hot water down people's throat, man. You're basically doing the same thing. You're pouring hot water down people's throats so they can't speak and whatnot. Basically doing the same thing. Go ahead.
And to cut off the utmost parts of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on. Verse 5. Now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him being yet alive to be brought to the fire and to be fried in the pan.
And now he brought them to be thrown in the fire and fried in the pan. And this devil boiled this young boy in the pan. Literally boiled him in the pan. So much that his tongue running around with no skin. Imagine this is the things that imagine at this time they're running the Caribbean. They're ruling the earth, and this is how they're ruling the earth. They're ruling the earth a horrible way. Like they're ruling the earth with no kindness. No, like now, again, if you have to punish someone, a punishment should be just and the punishment should fit the crime. Now with these devils, their punishment don't fit the crime. Like a man will do something small, like be slow at his work, and they think that means pour hot water down their throat. They think that means boil them in a cauldron. They think that means burn them with an iron. They think that means bust their head open. They think that means whip them for an hour without intermission. That's what they think that means, man. So, okay, go ahead.
That's it on us, sir.
That's it, us. Okay.
No, Salakia, sir. That was it on the scripture.
Oh, no, sir.
I can't, sir. And that was it on that slide as well, Salakia.
Okay, no, sir. Salakia, go ahead.
Personally appeared William Cox Robertson of said island of Tortola, who being duly sworn on the holy evangelists of Almighty God, disposed and said that he had probable cause of suspect and doth suspect that the Arthur Hodge of said island of Tortola hath willfully, feloniously, and of his malice aforethought murdered the following Negro slaves.
So now here is like the prosecutor and so forth, and they're saying, yeah, man, this man murdered them Negro slaves because they're listening to all the stories and they're shrieking at these stories like, damn, imagine other slave masters are like, yo, that's brutal. Listen, they're all brutal, but they're like, yo, this man's more brutal than they are. Lucky, go ahead.
And of his malice aforethought murdered the following Negro slaves, laid his property, to wit, Tom Boiler, Prosper, Coffee, Margaret, and Elsie, by beating, wounding, and evil treating them.
And that's how he killed them, by beating, wounding, and evil treating them. And now in court they had to see if his was a crime of malice. So they was like, there's a difference between envy, malice, and a punishment. So now they needed to prove that what he done was malice, meaning he plotted on how he could hurt them. They was like, obviously, if he does that, you can't do that. But they was like, obviously, you can punish a slave, but this man ain't punishing them. His is malice. So now it was up to the courts to prove that this man's fitted in the category of malice. So this man was arguing, saying, yo, these are my slaves, man. They're no better than dogs. I'm allowed to punish my slaves. And then other slave masters was like, yo, if this man goes to jail for punishing these slaves, then these slaves are going to feel like they have some rights. So most of them was mad at the fact that a white man's in court for harming black people. Because why they hold themselves not guilty, and it says that in the Bible, man, they hold themselves not guilty, and they're thinking, yo, if he gets sentenced, the rest of us could get sentenced, or the slaves are going to feel like, oh, they can report us. That's lucky. Go ahead.
beating, wounding, and evil treating them in so violent, shocking, and cruel a manner that they, each and every of them, the said Negro slaves, died in consequence thereof.
And they need to prove that his punishment was so severe that the slaves was dying. And his argument is, my slaves, I'm allowed to punish them. I'm punishing them because they're not listening. I'm punishing them for this. I'm punishing them for that. So the prosecutor and they was interviewing people, witnesses, and even if they didn't believe the black witnesses, they spoke to white witnesses. Because what this man used to do when he was punishing them, he used to invite people to the plantation to see, and people would come to the plantation and they would watch these punishments, and those same people that he punished black people in front of publicly, the same people that he punished black people in front of publicly are the same people that testified against him in court. Yes, Lucky, go ahead.
Whereas complaint under oath hath been made and exhibited before us, the Hon. Richard Hetherington, the Hon. George Richardson Porter, the Hon.
So I believe these are the names of the all white jury or whatever, but you can skip the names.
Each and every of us, His Majesty's Justice of the Peace, in and for the Virgin Islands, that the Honorable Arthur Hodge of said island of Tortola did feloniously, willfully, and of his malice aforethought, beat, wound, and evil treat the following Negro slaves.
So now they're saying that, this man beat them, treated them bad, and that with these Negro slaves terribly. Go ahead.
Laid the property of him, the said Arthur Hodge, to wit, Tom Boiler, Prosper, Coffee, Margaret, and Elsie, in so violent, shocking, and cruel manner that each and every of them, the said Negro slaves, did die in consequence of such beating, wounding.
So now they need to prove that they died because of the beatings. So that's what these courts is trying to prove. And his solicitor is trying to say, no, they didn't die because of the beatings. And he's trying to say that his slaves is allowed to punish them. So they came up with if you send the white man to jail for punishing his slaves, black people are going to believe that they can't be punished no more. So white people's like, no, you can't really punish a man of this stature. So they was like, no, you can't punish this man. He's up there, you can't punish him. That's like, go ahead.
Hodge.
In consequence of such beating, wounding, and evil treating them by severely received from the said Arthur Hodge. These are therefore in His Majesty's name to charge, command, and require you, any or either of you, forthwith to apprehend the said Arthur Hodge, and him to bring before us, or any or either of us, His Majesty's Justice of the Peace aforesaid, in order that they said Arthur Hodge may be dealt with according to law.
So imagine this, being a white man, killing black people, and one day he brought before the law. Remember, back then they saw black people as less than dogs. So now, imagine imagine someone bringing you before the law because you kill an insect or something. That's how they will see us, like killing black people is like killing insects. It's not that big of a deal to them. So they'll kill black people, kill black people, kill black people. And one day, this is the first white man that went to court for it, man, in the Caribbean. But it's lucky. Go ahead.
I don't know, Counselor. Welcome. A slave about 25 years.
Now, another slave is about to take the stand. Imagine that being in court, man, and they say, "Yo, welcome, a slave." Because this right here is the actual. This ain't no what we're reading right here. This isn't a historian writing this record. This is the actual court files. So this is the actual documents and real life witnesses taking the stand. So this is the actual court files. Go ahead.
Welcome, a slave about 25 years of age, being a hunter belonging to said Hodge, was sent by him in search of some runaway Negroes.
So now, when Negroes would run away, they would send other slaves to return them. That's one thing that they'll do in slavery. If one slave ran away, they would send other slaves to return them. And then you see if those slaves came back without the runaway slaves, then they would whip those ones. So either way, them slaves was forced to hate each other. You know why? Because one of them is coming to find you and can't find you. So he's getting whipped because you've run away. And one of them is coming to find you and he's making sure he brings you back because he don't want to get whipped. So you're going to hate him because he's trying to bring you back to the plantation. And he is going to hate you because he's getting whipped because you're not coming back to the plantation. So either way, the slave master's whipping somebody. Somebody's going to get whipped, man. And this is how they made black people dislike each other. And that will definitely make you dislike your brother. Because why? You're trying to run away to freedom. And this man doesn't want to get whipped, so he's trying to bring you back to the plantation. And you're looking at him like, oh, this sellout nigga bringing me back to the plantation. When it's not that, he just don't want to get whipped, man. He don't want to get whipped, but you can't see that. You're thinking you're just sellout nigga, man, bringing me back to the plantation. And then the one that ran away, the one that stayed on the plantation, is thinking, yo, this nigga's selfish, man. He ran away. Now we're all going to get whipped because he ran away. So either way, there's going to be an issue one way or the other. The one that ran away, now that the one that's ran away, the ones on the plantation are at harm now. Because one's run away is going to whip all these ones that are there. And the ones that it sends to find you, if they find you and tell you, yo, come back, man, because we're all going to get whipped, and you say, I'm not coming back, they're going to say, yo, you're selfish, you're only thinking about yourself. And then when they go back without you, they're going to get whipped. That's how it goes. Lucky, go ahead.
Canada Council, belonging to Hodge, was sent by him in search of some runaway Negroes and exhibited his pass for such service to this deponent, that after said slave, Welcome, had hunted 4 or 5 days, he returned home unsuccessful in his pursuit.
And this man went out looking for the slaves. He returned unsuccessful in his pursuit. Go ahead.
And in consequence thereof was laid down by said Hodge order and had a severe cart whipping inflicted upon him.
And now imagine this man just went out to go find the runaway, couldn't find the runaway, and because he couldn't find him, Hodge whipped him, cart whipped him, man, whipped him because he couldn't find him. Imagine that, man, whipped him, and why? Because the runaway don't want to return. Go ahead.
That the said slave, Welcome, was then immediately sent out hunting a second time.
So he whipped him and then he sent him out again and said, yo, you better go find that runaway. Go ahead.
And in a few days, again returned home as formerly unsuccessful.
And he returned home again, unsuccessful, and he got whipped again. Go ahead.
When his old wounds from the before mentioned cart whipping uncured, he was a second time, by order of said Hodge, laid down and severely cart whipped upon the former wound.
See, and imagine that, man. Imagine you got whipped until all your wounds is open. Then the man sends you out again and whips you on the same wounds, man, before they even healed. Imagine your wounds is already open. And a man whips you on those same wounds. Can you imagine? Like, I don't know if you've ever cut yourself the same place twice. Imagine having a cut and it cuts again, and then it cuts again. The pain, the sting, and all that. The pain and the stings enough to probably kill you. I'm telling you. So this man done this perfectly. Like he was perfect in his evil, man. That's how evil he was. He was so evil that his evil is more evil than the regular white person's evil. That's how evil it was, man. Lucky, go ahead.
That said Welcome was then immediately by said Hodge sent out hunting a third time.
And then, after whipping him on the open wounds the second time, he sent him out hunting again the third time. Go ahead.
In the state he then, of course, was, and again, as formerly returned unsuccessful in a few days.
And then this man came back again unsuccessful. Listen, man, if a man's run away and the man can't find him, it's not his fault that he can't find him. He tried, what he wanted to do, search the whole country. He tried, he couldn't find him, and he had to return again. Honestly, at this point, this man should have ran away too. Because you know you're coming back to a whipping. Honestly, at this point, he should have said, you know what, I ain't going back there. So go ahead.
And was then again caught whipped severely by order of said Hodge.
And then it was whipped again for the third time, man. Whipped again and again and again for the third time. Go ahead.
And put in very heavy irons with a pudding on each leg and a crook round his neck. And some nights was by the opponents seen in this condition.
So now this right here is someone testifying of what the scene. So the deponent is the person testifying of what the scene. So they said the some nights the scene him. Go ahead.
In this condition, put for the night in bilboes or stocks.
Some nights they will whipped him and they put this man in the stocks. Hold on, let me pull you up what the stocks is. Try to find a real good picture. Hold on, I'm trying to find I'm trying to see if there's any cartoon pictures of a man in them. Basically, bilboes is like some long metal chain thing that they put your hands in. Basically, you'll be chained up there all night. So now they'll leave you outside in these. Hold on, is this one? Looks like this a bit. This is what it looks like. Hold on, let me get a picture. Looks like this a bit. So it looks like that, chained up like that. So it looks like these kind of things. It's a chain that goes around your neck like this here. So it's like a borderline guillotine, stocks, whatever you want to call it. So they had them in these. You padlocked up in that. So that's what they had them in. Well, that's what they had him in, shall I say. So now this defendant said she's seen him in the bilboes and she's seen him in the stocks. That's what it is. So this right here is a first-hand account. It's an eyewitness telling you what she's seen. So this man was put in this way because he was sent to find a runaway slave and he couldn't find the slave. And yep, they put him in that. So like, go ahead.
That he was allowed little or no diet.
And he was allowed little or no diet. And also, when these slaves was being whipped, a lot of them before that was suffering from malnutrition anyway. So a lot of them was skinny and starving. So can you imagine being skinny and getting whipped and hungry and feeling weak because you're hungry? So all of these things is going on at the time. And this man's just living his best life, whipping them. Living his best life, making money, whipping them. So like, go ahead.
And consequently became so weak that he could scarcely walk.
And he became so weak that he couldn't walk. He could barely walk, man. He could barely walk, scarcely walk, man. That's how weak he became. Go ahead.
That about this time, said Hodge asked him, the opponent, to buy said slave welcome and offered to sell him for 5 joes. That is $40.
And now they whipped him and this man was weak and about to die. And this slave master's like, yeah, give me $40. How much did he want for him? 40 what?
Slakia?
How much did he want for him? 40 what?
$40 or 5 joes.
See, so 5 joes is $40. So now, with this man's about to die, and he's saying, "No, just give me $40 for him." Listen, you do that for something cheap and broken. You see, like if you've got like an old phone where the screen's broken, you say to a man, "No, give me £20 for it." This man's like, "No, that nigga there, just give me 40 for him." Meaning he didn't even care. He's like, "Just give me 40 for him." And that's how cheap they look at our life, man. That we're worth about a 40. So lucky, go ahead.
That previous to said cruelty inflicted on said. Salakia, sir. Next slide.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Said slave, welcome. This deponent believes he was worth more than 40 Joes.
So now the person testifying believes that this brother was worth more than 40 Joes, man. And he definitely was. Imagine this. This is a child of God, man. Like the priceless. Imagine this is a child of God, and they're putting a price on the child of God, man. But yeah, just give me £40 for them. That's what they do, man. They put a price on us, like, yeah, just give me £40 for them. Not realizing that, listen, we're priceless, man. The Bible says we was redeemed without price, man. Listen, we worth more than they tell us that we're worth. And this is why we always want to be celebrities, because they put a price on us. There's a book called $40 Billion Slave, man. You're just a slave, and they put a number on you, when really they shouldn't pigeonhole you and put no number on you, man. They're supposed to put no number on you. So like, go ahead.
So like, sir, if I may, I think what this witness is trying to say is that before the billboards and the stocks and the beating, he was worth more, but after the beating, he's worth less. Like, sir.
40 Joes, you know. Listen, before the beating, after the beating, this nigga should have been priceless, man. He should have never been. They should have never. Imagine this. How can something which is inferior to you try and tell you how much? This is what I don't understand. Imagine they're inferior to us, and they try and tell us what we're worth. Listen, man, yeah, man, that's like a pair of shoes telling you, look, man, you're worth less than you're worth less than this. It's like a pair of shoes having the cheek to talk to you and say to you, you're worth this much. It's like something that's not even that's regarded as nothing, trying to tell you who's something what you're worth, man. But this they brought up the slave so much that now he's only worth 40. How much did they have to broke him up, man? They beat him to where he couldn't walk. The slave master's like, just give me £40 for him. Listen, man, that's how cheap they think of us. Beat us up and then give £40 for us. But it's lucky. Go ahead.
But at this time, said Hodge offered to sell him to the opponent. This deponent, would not have given him 2 Joes for him.
Listen,
as he was.
That they're not giving 2 Joes for him, man. That's how bad it was. He wanted 40, and they looked at the state of him and was like, nah, he ain't worth 2. Go ahead.
As he was certain said slave could not live.
See, and he's like, yo, I'm not this slave. He's like, yo, one of the other slave masters is like, yo, I'm not gonna buy this slave. And he's saying, why would I buy this slave? Because the way how this slave is not gonna live. It's like you buying a car and it's like 300,000 miles on the clock. You're gonna be like, no, this car's barely gonna make it around the corner, man. You're gonna be like, this car's barely gonna start. That's why he looked at this slave and was like, yo, no, this slave ain't gonna live. Go ahead.
In consequence of said ill treatment, that this deponent therefore refused to buy said slave welcome, but did told said Hodge he had no objection to taking him to Parakeet's Bay and keep him for a day or 2. That this deponent, left said Hodge's house and told said slave welcome to come on. That said slave.
Next slave master said, I ain't gonna pay for him, but shit, I'll take him to the plantation and see if it's worth it, see what I can do. Go ahead.
To come on, that said slave Welcome proceeded as well as he could in the state he was in, and reached about halfway down the hill.
He tried to walk, and he reached about halfway down the hill. Go ahead.
When he declared himself unable to proceed any further.
And now he couldn't move any further. He's so battered and broke that he can't move any further, man. Go ahead.
That in consequence of his wounds from said cart whippings, being unable.
And now, because of all the whippings and the loss of, understand this, when you get whipped, you lose a lot of blood. Hold on. Let me just Google. Hold on. Bear with me. No, this ain't gonna give me nothing. No,
So, like you said, for me, are you trying to find a picture of the cart whip?
Hold on. Let me find one. I'm gonna get a picture of it. Let me show you a cart whip. Apparently one's got beer wood on there. So apparently, bear with me. So apparently, with the cart whip, Banyaman, all the impact goes right into the. You see this part at the top. So apparently, this is like apparently it's like someone chopping you with a sword. They say. So they say the end of it. There's so much power going into that little part at the top. That's like someone chopping you with a sword. So they say that you see chunks of flesh just coming out. So when they hit you, chunks of flesh comes out, and they say it goes centimeters deep. And that's why a lot of them die. Like one is we're thinking, when we think of a whip, we're just thinking like just a little hit with something and that's it. Because the movies ain't as graphic as real life. So I don't know if in the slave movies, like in the slave movies, they make you look like it's a little hot. Apparently, sometimes the whip is so bad that chunks of flesh is coming out with every hit. And then apparently, if they keep hitting around the same area, a big chunk of skin will just come off. A big chunk of flesh will come off. So yeah, they'll let you know like a big chunk of flesh.
And so like you said, for me, I think they call it cart whip because they use them on the carts with the horses.
Yes, that's right. So imagine, and apparently they don't even hit the oxes with that whip. They just crack the whip, and the oxes hear the sound and get petrified from it. So imagine you're hitting a man with this, man, and you wouldn't even hit an animal with it. Imagine animals' resistance would be way more than the man's, but they feel like black people can't feel pain, so they whip you until the flesh comes off your skin, man. I'm telling you, when you think about oppressors, these are the things that we have to think about. These are the things that they was openly doing. Now this man here, they only took him to trial. Why? Because this was when they was about to abolish slavery, and they cared about their image and how it looked and uprisings. Imagine the earlier slave masters. Listen, who do you think was worse, this man or Thomas Thistlewood?
Probably him, you know.
Probably him, innit?
Thistlewood sounds good,
Probably worse than Thistlewood, I'm telling you. But it's lucky word, Benjamin.
That's it on that slide, sir.
It's lucky. Go ahead.
Being unable to sit down, he laid down in the road on his belly.
And now, imagine this, he got whipped so bad that he was unable to sit down, man. He had to lay down in the road on his belly. Go ahead.
that this deponent had seen the flesh from said wounds sticking to the seat of his said slave breeches.
Imagine that, man. Isn't it sticking to his breeches?
The trousers.
Imagine your flesh. Imagine you put on clothes. Your flesh is sticking to your clothes. That's what's going on, man. His flesh is sticking to his clothes, man. Listen, I don't know what else to say, man. His flesh is sticking to his clothes. That's how much the beating, man. Imagine that your flesh. Imagine having to take them clothes off, and your flesh is just coming off with the clothes. Listen, slavery is a rough thing, man. It's like, go ahead.
Sticking to the seat of the said slave's breeches from the sores formed on his posteriors in consequence of said cart whippings.
Listen, man, that's the consequence of the cart whippings, man. Flesh comes off. Whip you, man. Until that flesh comes off, man. It's disgusting. I'm telling you, it's thinking about a man's flesh coming off with his clothes. It's disgusting to even think about it. It's like you've heard.
Of said cart whippings repeatedly inflicted as aforesaid. That deponent proceeded home and left said slave unable to proceed and in the condition aforesaid.
So now this slave was just in the road. Because he can't move no more, he's in the road. They just left him in the road, man. Go ahead.
That he was informed that said Hodge, learning that said slave welcome did not proceed with the deponent to Paraquet's Bay, had him that night brought home.
So now that man was going to take him to his plantation, and then they realized, this slave's in a messed up way, man. He can't even walk. So he left him in the road. So then what happened? He sent some other slaves to bring this man back to his plantation, and he whipped him again. After his flesh was already off, whipped him again. Go ahead.
Had him that night brought home, and in the state he was in, cart whipped him immediately.
Imagine that. More beatings, man. Imagine this man's near enough dying, can't walk, his skin's sticking to his clothes, and then you whip him some more. There should be a stage where you say, it's time to stop now. And then the more I read these stories, and then when black parents back then used to beat their kids, you can see that they get it from here. Because here, these lot are beating you with no mercy, and you don't know what you're being punished for. Like this man here, he don't know why he's being punished, just whipping him. And that kind of made its way into our community where children are being punished and they don't know why they're being punished. Whereas sometimes you have to explain to children why you're doing certain things, why you're behaving a certain way. Sometimes you have to explain to them, listen, these devils didn't explain nothing, man. Just whip them. And this is why we shouldn't be like them. Not at all. Go ahead.
That he, the deponent, went the next morning to said Hodge, who said he knew nothing of said slave and had not seen him.
So now they was like, no, about that slave. I ain't seen him. Go ahead.
That he, this deponent, when he last saw said slave welcome, was convinced he could not live. That he never after saw the said welcome and is sure he is dead in consequence of the cruelties aforesaid. That at different periods of time, he, this deponent, has lived as a manager in the employment of said Hodge on his estate.
Some of Hodge's employees, man, even was like, brutal what you're doing, man. Brutal what you're doing. And this is how they treated us, man. Imagine the children of God, this is how they treated them. It's only right that we run the world, man. It's only right.
That's right.
Yeah, that black people want you start talking about everyone's going into slavery. Listen, man, we ain't gonna half deal with you like you dealt with us, man. That's right. Because we are kind people that know how to. Right? And the thing is this, You had your chance to run the world, and that's what you decided to do with it. You don't deserve to run the world again. No chance. If you run the world again, this is going to happen all over again. Like, you by no means deserve to run this world again. The shot that you had to run the world, you started brutalizing people, man. Brutalizing people. And why? Because you brute beasts for no reason. Like, imagine a man can't walk and you bring him back and whip him some more. Is that going to make him walk? Like, it don't make no sense, man. So, Lucky, go ahead.
Canada Council. Lived as a manager in the employ of said Hodge on his estate in said island of Tortola, called Bellevue, that during his residence on said estate, the said Hodge was in the practice of committing dreadful and excessive acts of cruelty towards his slaves.
See, and even his own workers understand he was committing cruelty towards his slaves. Like, it was cruel. Like, imagine this. Yeah, you got to. This is how black people think. This is how black people think. I got a plantation. These lot are working for me and they're making me money. That's where we draw the line. They're making me money. What else do I want from them? That's it, man. These lot just want to beat you, want to kill you, want to whip you, want to burn you alive. Like, why do you feel to exact all them tortures upon people? So, Lucky, go ahead.
That in the year of our Lord, 1807.
Listen, how can a white man even talk about believing in the Lord after doing these things, man? Listen, we wouldn't even do that to an animal, man. Imagine that, like the other day, actually, I read the story, and these Edomites ain't changed. There was two boys that was in university, and they went to a farm, and they started beating up like a sheep. Started beating the sheep up, and then one of them whacked the sheep on the head, knocked the sheep unconscious. I think they killed the sheep or something. Then what they done is they put a firework in the sheep's behind and blew up the sheep. Like, who thinks to do that? Like, I heard and they said that the sheep blew up to bits. They said that they was punching the sheep in the face and all of those kind of things. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up so no one thinks I'm lying.
So, like you said, for me, they get in the practice of the sheep, because eventually they probably possibly want to do that to someone.
Yes, I'm telling you.
The word sadistic is like a man that loves pain or likes to put pain on people. Like, the word sadistic comes from the actual white man that lives. It's his name.
So, I think that should be all of their names at this point. See, here it is right here. Sadistic pair behind bars for blowing up sheep. See, and listen, before you see the picture, everyone knew it was white boys. And they make them look so innocent. These is the ones where police wouldn't stop and search them. But listen, I ain't heard of a black man trying to blow up a sheep once. It's not something black people do. Imagine blowing up a sheep. Like, what goes through you? What goes through your mind? That's Lucky. Go ahead, Benjamin.
Canon concern. That during this resident on said estates, the said Hodge was in practice of committing dreadful and excessive acts of cruelty towards his slaves. That in the year of our Lord 1807, that would be 1807, after the 27th day of March in that year, Slaki, that's it on that side, that being the day on which said deponent went to reside on said estate.
So someone went to reside on this man's estate. Go ahead.
Two Negro slaves, Margaret and Elsie, were sent by said Hodge to this deponent, naked as they were born.
So these two slaves was naked. So it says naked as they were born, because obviously, how are you born? You're born with no clothes on. So it's saying they was in that state naked as they were born. Go ahead.
Very severely cut by the cart whip
They was
and
very
chained together.
severely caught by the cart whip, meaning their skins ripped out. The naked, their skin. This is women, you know. The naked, their skins ripped open by the cart whip. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir, and chained together with orders to put them into the field that this deponent had previously heard the said Hodge say that said Margaret and Elsie would not live long.
And now this slave master said, them women ain't gonna live long. Why? Because he's just sitting down plotting on how he can kill them, man. He's just sitting down plotting. Imagine this. If your slaves are your money, why would you kill them? Like, I would have thought, imagine this, if someone's slaves, I'd have thought if you know, gave them incentives and was kind of okay with them, they're going to work harder for you. This man here, he don't care about the work, he just wants to kill them because there's something inside him. And in his trial, he said, the reason he was like this is because it's all growing up. Because his parents were slave masters too. His parents was also horrible like that. But that's lucky. Go ahead.
But that he would put an end to them for striving to take the lives of his innocent babies.
And now he tried to lie and say this, they're going to poison his wife. And if they wasn't going to poison his wife, so what? Your wife probably was horrible to them like you are, man. Maybe if they poison you and your wife, the whole plantation would have been free, man. People wouldn't have things. People wouldn't be half dying because you're killing them. So go ahead.
That when said slaves, last name, were so sent to this deponent, he understood that said Hodge had boiling water poured down the throat of said Margaret.
So now this is another of someone saying, yo, this is someone that worked there saying, yo, we seen him pour the boiling water down Margaret's throat. Go ahead.
And that this deponent, saw that her mouth and underlip were scalded.
And I poured the water down her throat and they saw her mouth and her underlip was scalded, meaning the burn she had under her lip, man, because of that. Go ahead.
That both Margaret and Elsie, aforesaid, soon after died.
And these two black women died, man, from this, from him pouring hot water down their throat soon after they died, man. Go ahead. And you know what? You know what's crazy? At this time, being dead's better than alive. Trust me, you're not be dead than be going through all that, man. I'm trying to tell you. Imagine this, you being tortured by these devils. For them, at least, once they would have died, that pain would have been over for them, man. I'm telling you, and that's why when the Bible says, yo, every eye is going to see Christ and those that pierced him. I want to see this devil, man. Alpha Hodge, listen, he needs, him and every single thing that comes from him needs to be dealt with, man. Everything that comes from him, everything that birthed him, listen, every white man, woman, and child that he knows, all needs to be dealt with, man. How you pouring hot water down people's throats? Lucky, go ahead.
Cancer. And as he adds, very shortly, as he believes in consequence of said treatment, that they were previously and immediately before said treatment in good health.
See? And now they're proving that the people that he killed, before he done these things to them, they was in good health. But once he done these things to them, they're no longer in good health. What's they're saying, man? They was in good health. Once he done those things to them, they're no longer in good health. Listen, I had enough of reading. This will do the rest next week. So lock your Benjamin. You clap it up. Stand in the class. Lock it, Benjamin. You can call it. And we'll finish it off next week. Yes, lock it. Go ahead. You can call it.
Canada Cancer. Men of Israel, Imagem Sabat. Imagem Barak. Yahaba Shimi Hashem Barak.
Yahaba Shimi Shabak Fam.
Yajamata. Class dismissed.
Mother again, Benjamin. All right, Shalom Israel will be here tomorrow. Scripture breakdown. Shalom Israel.
Shalom, sir.
Shalom.